Welcome to Wonderful World of Teaching, where I share classroom tips and tricks and hope that you'll find a little magic along the way. I'm continuing with The Quiet Magic of Classroom Management series. This Spark series is to go over different ways to make sure that your classroom management is strong and offer some ways to repair or encourage you throughout the year. This Spark is going to focus on repair. Now, repair definitely wasn't something that I was ever taught in classroom management when I was going through my credential program. A lot of focused on transitions, how you want your classroom to work. When I did my student teaching, it's just a short amount of time that you're working in a classroom, so you don't often have the opportunity to see or even participate in a repair moment to get your classroom back in a safe learning environment. And that's really the main focus of repair, is making sure that if there's something that happens, if you as the teacher explode or you react too strongly or too quickly to your students, if a student isn't acting appropriately, or if you just realize that your classroom just needs a reset. This often happens throughout the year and sometimes several times. So this component of classroom management, while not taught, is really essential to continue to build strong relationships with students, a strong classroom community, and also just that sometimes we as educators make mistakes, and it teaches our students how do we solve these mistakes. Now, times when you might need repair, as I shared, is if you've responded as a teacher too strongly, if you've given a consequence that was maybe didn't fit the crime or wasn't maybe part of that quick response. If a student is acting out or students aren't following classroom procedures or routines or acting out, or if your classroom just as a whole has kind of lost the transition time, things are taking too long and they're not remembering where things are. These are great opportunities as a teacher to take a moment and reassess, reevaluate, and repair. The ways that you can do this as a teacher, if you have responded too quickly, it's a great opportunity to just say, pause and take a moment and apologize to your class. Hey, I didn't mean to get so upset like that. I recognize, that this situation happened and, I'm sorry that I got upset. And while many people look at apologizing as, well, I'm admitting weakness in front of my class, or I'm not a strong leader if I apologize. And that's so far from the truth, because we know we're not perfect humans. And I think our students know that too, although they put us on, a pedestal sometimes that, we never make mistakes. I think it's important for us to own up when we do make mistakes, because our intention wasn't to react that way, right? We, instead of responding or taking a moment, we got upset, or our emotions got the best of us. It's an opportunity to say, hey, I recognize that, my response wasn't the best. I'd like to give that another try. It models that for our students too. Our students need to see how to appropriately repair relationships. They might not be getting this at home, and they're likely not getting it throughout their day in a classroom with their peers. So if that does happen, it's okay. It's okay as an educator to say, oops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Let me try and do that again. Again, I think it's important for us to offer this to our students too. When we are speaking with a student, discussing their behavior, it's so important to do this away from everybody else, not to make it a big spectacle, and sometimes, right, that's, if we react and respond in a way, we may make it a spectacle, and it's important to apologize that same way in front of our students. But if you're addressing it with the student, it's important to pull them aside, check in with them, see how they're doing, because sometimes just checking in, and they may be resistant to even answer or talk to you, but sometimes checking in gives us so much information about a student, and sometimes that gives us that moment of empathy to help us respond appropriately with the student. And then again, if you're realizing you're coming back from break or it's one of those windy days, I don't know about you, but those windy days were always the worst because the kids were just out of control. I don't know, something about that wind just got them all wild. But if your classroom needs a moment to reset or needs repair, and especially during transition times, it's probably going to be it. Or if there's something where that you're constantly reminding students, this is where we put this, and you're constantly telling them, this is where we put this, it's a great idea to just practice it as a whole. If your class doesn't line up correctly, let's just practice it. And do it a few times, not under pressure. Oh, I see that we didn't line up. Let's do it again right now. It's like, ooh, let's see, let's try it one more time. Okay, everybody wiggle, and give them a moment to just like be still. Everybody wiggle. Okay, when I do this hand signal or when I clap, or okay, when the bell rings, okay, let's see how fast we can line up. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking for so-and-so. Hands behind her back. Oh, I see. Wow, look at this class. Oh, everyone's got their hands behind their back. So-and-so, amazing job. Oh, so-and-so, amazing job. Great job. Make sure to give, kudos to everybody. And if there's one wiggly student, oh, show me. Let's see. Let's help them out. Let's see if we can do it. You want to try and obviously not say the student's name, but sometimes you, oh, so-and-so, let's see if you can do it. And if they're still like wiggling, having a hard time, you give the class kudos, and that's the moment when you can talk to that. You pull a student aside at some point. Like, I really want to see you do a great job with this. How can I help you, be successful? So that's kind of a repair component. That's a repair spark in our classroom management. It is needed. It is okay to, apologize. Obviously, I try my best as an educator to not apologize as much as I can, but I'm not perfect and I make mistakes, and sometimes I respond too quickly and not in a way that I'm proud of. And so it is important to model this for our students, to give them the respect of pulling them aside, and then to just offer opportunities for us as a class to practice positive behavior, to continue to keep our classroom running smoothly, and to look for that calm, creating that sense of calm and structure for our students as well. Please feel free, if you like this video, to click like, comment below with any tips or tricks that you have or any struggles that you have. I'd love to be able to help you out. You can subscribe and continuing with this classroom, the quiet magic of classroom management, for all the up-to-date things that I'm sharing. I'm continuing to improve just the way that we as teachers are supported in our classroom, especially right after we get our credential program. And then share it with anybody else that might be going through a similar situation. And with that, I'll see you at the next one.